Here, Federal Reserve, manage our money supply. Don't mismanage it by printing trillions to bail out huge multinational corporations, okay? No, JPEG! What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great end to your weekend, great start to your week. Really depends on where you're watching today's video. However, at the time of making this video, we are seeing some red across the markets. We're seeing Bitcoin sort of push down. We did have a little bit of a rejection around the $7,300 level. Lots of people calling for an $8,000 Bitcoin. Is that possible? Well, we do know that we have the Bitcoin halving coming up in about 22 days. So is an $8,000 Bitcoin possible? Well, I do want to go into some short-term analysis. We are getting very close to a critical level. You can see right here, we do have a lot of resistance coming down. So I want to talk about that. I also want to go into one crazy Bitcoin chart. Now, you guys are talking about, sort of coincidences between Bitcoin and the stock market. Well, I'm going to actually show you a really cool chart from 1996 to 2000 in the NASDAQ that could give some hints as to what could happen for Bitcoin moving forward. Also want to talk about the fact that we have $3 billion worth of quote-unquote dry powder ready to potentially ignite the cryptocurrency markets. And also we need to talk about the fact that Tether has printed $500 million. What is going on? Does this mean that the whales are going to move into Tether and we're going to have a dump, or are they looking to use the Tether to buy more Bitcoin and pump it? That is what we're going to talk about today. If that sounds good to you, you know what to do. Also, today is your last chance if you're looking to get your hands on the free Ledger Nano S. Drop a comment below and we are giving that away tomorrow. Also, if you guys have checked out, Ledger is doing a 27% off deal if you want. I do have links below. You can check that out. If you want to get one today, or if you want to try to win one, you can drop a comment. And without further ado, if you're not subscribed, consider it. Let's dive in. Okay, having a look right here, we do notice that Bitcoin is still maintaining this sort of yellow uptrend. We are above the heart line of the original ascending pattern, right? So we are still sitting above previous resistance. You can see right here, we did break above the 50-day moving average. However, currently we are being held down by this resistance that started all the way up at around the $10,500 level. You can see it held us down here. Then we took that major dump, and currently it looks like we are being held down again. So granted, we are above the 50-day moving average. We are currently below the resistance, and if we can't break above this resistance, we do risk falling down maybe to around $6,800. Now, obviously, if we fall down to that level, we would close the CME futures gap that was basically started on Friday. That gap sits around $7,080, so we may come down just to close that super quick. However, I do want to just break, or actually show you this news that came out for the attempted break. This is from Crypto Yoda. Letters from Dagobah, okay, if you're following him. And he's talking about a correction or a reversal. And he says the make it or break it moment is approaching. I'm not going to go into the whole newsletter. Essentially, if we scroll all the way to the bottom, if you guys want to read this, I will drop it below. He says any break of $7,475 might lead Bitcoin to a strong breakout. Now, if we can break and hold above $8,000, he says this would be very bullish and would increase the chances of a major spike, wiping out bears and igniting a brand new rally. Now, we had actually talked about these levels back here. If we had gotten above sort of the, right here at this green line, I have it around the 7,900. So that's basically the $8,000 level. And he does say the daily EMA cluster above needs to be broken first between 7,600, 7,900. Any pump failure could lead to a violent reversal down. So caution is advised. And of course, we have been rejected again for the third week. I mean, technically, if you count these little wicks down here, it's almost been going on for 5 weeks now. At around the VPVR right above my head at $7,200. We need to break above this. We need to hold above this on the daily for some bullish momentum, right? But essentially, that's just what's happening short term for Bitcoin. But what we need to talk about is the fact that Bitcoin, priced in gold, is at its lowest level in 4 years. You can look at the stock to flow analysis over here by Plan B, which I'm not going to lie, this model has been getting a little bit of flack lately. However, what do you guys think? Why is Bitcoin trailing behind gold so bad right now? Why has gold really been acting as the store of value? Do you think it's just because it's easier for, investors who cashed out of stocks to get into gold since they usually buy them from the same people? Or do you think it's simply because gold is better, or maybe because it's been around longer, right? So that is the question, right? But we do have the Bitcoin halving coming up in 22 days. Now, having a look right here at this tweet, you can see there is an amazing correlation between the NASDAQ internet market cycle. By the way, this is from DIY Investing over on Twitter, and essentially the Bitcoin market cycle. And you could see right here that although we do tend to think that it was correlated recently with the sell-off, which it somewhat was correlated, you can see that actually the NASDAQ had a major sell-off in 2008. I don't have to remind you what happened. And that same sell-off looks unbelievably similar to the one that we just saw for Bitcoin, as well as the crazy internet market cycle from sort of 1995 to 2000 resembles exactly what happened in Bitcoin from 2017 to 2018. So obviously Bitcoin tends to do this a little bit quicker, right? Bitcoin moves a little bit faster. But one other one I want to point out as well is, if you can see right here, he says, betting against this, worst idea ever. By the way, that was pretty mind-blowing, right? He says, Bitcoin literally looks the same as it does before every halving. 2018 was the very first year we ever had real institutional adoption, and now you're bearish? Okay, right? But I mean, currently having a look, it does look like Bitcoin is trying to push down right now. But keep in mind that when we do look at these halvings, it's not like we've ever had, a massive, blast off pre-halving. Every halving was very lackluster, and the real pump, the real bull run started after the halving. And in no instances, did we ever have a higher Bitcoin before a halving. So just keep that in mind. People think we're just going to have this crazy blast off. That's probably not what is going to happen. But here's the situation. We had just 18 hours ago, $120 million worth of Tether minted at the Treasury. Now, we did have the CTO of Tether coming out and saying this is an inventory replenish. Note, this is an authorized but not issued transaction, meaning that this amount will be used as inventory for next period issuance requests. Now, some people are saying this is not a good thing. If they're keeping it in the Treasury and they're not giving it out and they're waiting for when people are requesting more Tether, does this mean that they're anticipating people to be panic selling their Bitcoin and needing Tether so they can move their money into it? That is one theory, okay? Because you can see that there has been massive printing over here. And if we have a look at this article that came out from the Crypto Associate, they pointed out that 360 million had been printed just this week alone. And this article came out 3 days ago. And according to Messari's on-chain effects, Tether has actually surpassed XRP or Ripple by market cap. Now, I know if you're using CoinMarketCap, Ripple is sitting at number 3, and you have obviously Tether sitting, or XRP number 3, Tether number 4. But if you come over here and you actually look at Messari, you could see that Tether is actually sitting at number 3. Now, if you're wondering why this is different, Messari sort of is a little bit better of a data aggregator. You can actually see, for example, the real volume for the 24-hour Bitcoin is only at around 755 million. If you go over on something like, I'll do it right now. Actually, let's go over to CoinMarketCap. And what is it at right now for Bitcoin? It's probably way higher. Yeah, it's 31 billion. So you have to take into consideration, wash trading. A lot of the volume isn't exactly real. However, here is the kicker. So the guys over at Messari, specifically the CEO, has actually mentioned the fact that there is a huge amount of crypto sitting on the sidelines waiting to move into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. And this is in the form of, you guessed it, stablecoins. New data shows that cryptocurrency exchanges are now holding $3 billion in stablecoins on behalf of their customers. Now, this is slightly more bullish than Tether minting it because this is actually physically sitting on exchanges, which, by the way, you guys should never leave your cryptocurrencies on exchanges. Don't be crazy. Put them on something like a hardware wallet, right? But hey, if you're leaving them on the exchange, to each his own. So they're basically saying that these investors are in a strategic position to re-enter crypto essentially at any time. And to quote the CEO, he says there's now $3 billion of stable coins sitting on exchanges. If investors wanted to cash out of crypto completely, they would have withdrawn their funds to their banks, but they don't. They're keeping it in stable coins on exchanges. Instead, we've got more dry powder, as he puts it, held in the crypto economy than ever before in both retail and market cap percentage terms. So what are these investors waiting for? Are they waiting for one last final dip to try to catch these super, super low prices? Well, that is the question, but it is a lot more bullish considering them holding it on exchanges rather than Tether waiting to mint it out. Usually that means they want to run away, right? They want to cash out. So take it however you will. Some people will think this is bearish. Some people think this is bullish. I think there's a sort of middle ground in the both. I think the 3 billion on exchanges is actually bullish. The Tether being minted in the background, that could potentially be bearish. So take it how you will, but $3 billion worth of dry powder ready to pump crypto. Let me know what you think. But I want to just actually refer to a tweet from Min Kin over at Icon. And he says, 2 years ago, crypto advocates were saying institutional money is coming. Nope, didn't see it. But today, I'm actually seeing genuine institutional interests. Recently talked to a few money managers. The world is changing. Be bold, be strong, hodl. And I actually retweeted this over on my Twitter. And we've seen lots of people come out recently. Ari Paul, Adam Beck, Coinbase, showing that there was not only retail interest, but also institutional interest. You've seen Grayscale, Bitcoin, and Ethereum actually skyrocketing, as well as multiple people saying they've been hit up by very savvy investors looking to place million-dollar, multi-million-dollar investments into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. However, currently the price is pushing down. So that's it. Everything's invalidated. No, not necessarily, guys. Keep in mind, we are probably looking to close, that actually, are we closing the CME futures gap right now? Hold on. Oh, well, obviously we can't. Yeah, 7,080. Wow. Well, look at that, guys. It looks like we're already pushing down to close the gap as we make the video. So we'll see what happens as soon as the market's open, right? You guys will probably know before I do. So having a look over here, you could see one thing I wanted to point out super quick was I know that a lot of people have mentioned, Bitcoin is slow, high fees, etc. We do know that we have things like the Lightning Network. Well, interestingly enough, the Liquid sidechain, according to this, the liquid.net, the circulation trend has been steady for 96 Bitcoin on December 2019, and now it's all the way up to 2,000 LBTC in a matter of just 4 months. So this is kind of interesting, right? So Liquid Network has maintained a strong uptrend despite all the pullbacks that Bitcoin endured over the last month. This does not seem to have an impact on LBTC in circulation. So I just thought that was kind of an interesting statistic to see that this has been growing despite sort of the sentiment in the market recently. Okay, so we have to talk about this. We had dForce, a Chinese decentralized finance DeFi protocol backed by multi-coin capital, has reportedly been exploited. Yikes. Not good news for the DeFi sector. The total value locked in dForce was reduced from around $25 million to almost nothing. It dumped to 10,000. Well, it didn't get dumped, actually. What happened was basically there was an exploit. So these guys are a lending solution for lendf.me, representing an open source money market protocol. They were attacked. According to a local Chinese outlet, the team has already located the problem and advised all users to stop depositing assets in the loan agreement. On the webpage, on-chain data reveals that the attacker has transferred the assets to two other platforms, Compound and AAVE. Not too familiar with that, but wowzers, that is not good. I don't know what happened to anybody that had any of that money in there, but this is why DeFi is very, very risky. And as much as I do like to support these advancements, especially with things going on in Ethereum, you guys know I've been a little bit skeptical recently as far as, allocating any of my capital to any altcoins until we do have 100% certainty about what's really happening, sort of globally right now and, of course, in crypto. But man, when you see a chart like this, that definitely makes you rethink where you're putting your money. So, guys, like I said, put your money on a cryptocurrency hardware wallet. What are you lending out money for and doing all these things? See what happens. But I am sorry if this did affect anybody watching this video. And honestly, that really does suck. And I am sorry to hear about that, okay? But on the bright side, we do have some bright news. According to a recent LinkedIn blog post, blockchain technology is the most sought after skill this year. The post noted that the small supply of professionals who have this skill are in high demand. Moreover, while the virus pandemic continues to impact the U.S. unemployment rate, up to 22 million people who have filed for unemployment, you do notice that blockchain-related jobs have been increasing. So, hey, maybe something to do during the time, right? Maybe take up one of these courses, learn how to develop on blockchains. So in turn, blockchain courses offered at universities are becoming more common as the skill is on the rise. 56% of the world's top 50 universities offer at least one course on crypto or blockchain tech. That is a 42% increase from 2018. And I also think that, somebody's looking at blockchain tech, they're learning how to program. you're going to kind of inevitably look at Bitcoin, which is going to inevitably have you look at other cryptocurrencies, and then, maybe it'll just get more people into the space moving forward. So that being said, that is it for me today. Thank you so much again for coming back to the channel. If you want to enter to win the Ledger Nano S, today is the last day. Drop a comment below. Anything makes you eligible. If you want to join my free Telegram community, I do have a link above, dropping that below. And also, if you just want to buy a Ledger, they do have 27% off on their family packs. You could check out my tutorial that I do have. Just, search Crypto Zombie Ledger tutorial, and I do have links below for that as well. But having a look at this chart, isn't it a beautiful chart? That being said, thank you so much again for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I do this every single day. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto, and of course, peace out.